was the summer of 1989. Jonathan Fleming and his family left their New York home and headed for Disney World in Orlando, Florida. This is not a word problem. I know it sounds like one. On vacation, he accumulated seemingly insignificant things, plane tickets, a few postcards, and a hotel receipt for an $81.92 phone bill, which he says he slipped into his pocket. That receipt was reportedly still in his pocket when police arrested him for the murder of a friend, Daryl Black Rush, who was shot to death in Brooklyn on August 15, 1989, in what authorities suggested was a dispute over stolen money. That receipt was timestamped about 5 hours before the shooting, showing he was more than 1,000 miles away at the time. But that receipt was never given to his attorney and never presented at his trial. Fleming was convicted and sentenced to 25 years to life. Just a few months shy of a parole hearing, a New York judge on Tuesday vacated Fleming's conviction after prosecutors determined that he was innocent. After serving 24 years and 8 months in prison for a crime he never committed, Fleming, now 51, walked out of the Brooklyn courtroom.
Oh, I'm for the electric chair. I don't know about you guys. Aren't you guys for the electric chair?
You know, I spent some time as a prosecutor, and you know what they teach you during training is that your job is to not get a conviction. Your job is to further the interest of justice. And if you have any exculpatory information, you have to turn that over to the defense. You have to. That's your job. And you know, when I was a DA, what I did was I never excused anyone from the jury pool. Because people like to cherry pick the jury and stack it in their favor so they can get a conviction. I thought that was wrong. I thought that if I was going to take a man's or a woman's liberty away, I should prove that case beyond a reasonable doubt in front of anyone, from anyone. And I'm not going to cherry pick a jury and stack it in my favor. So I don't understand prosecutors who do this. I just don't understand it. Because getting that conviction, how do you live with yourself? I mean, I feel bad if I make a bullshit call on the basketball court. Like, oh, Dave didn't really foul me, but I caught a foul. I shouldn't have done that. How do these guys live with putting an innocent person in jail for 25 years?
And knowing that the person who's still out there is still out there. Got a free pass.
And this is why I just can't agree to the death penalty, because this happens far too often. This story happens all the time. And I met a guy here in California who he spent 20 years on death row, and he was finally released. And he told me, so he went away at the age of 17 or 18, and he came out when he was 37, 38. And he told me that when he was in prison, he had this mission in life to clear his name and get out, and he finally did. And then you know, the first moments were, you know, just amazing and overwhelming and wonderful. But then he said, dealing with day-to-day life, having missed 20 years of it, like he doesn't know how to do.
It's a time machine.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to do little things like he's never taken money out of an ATM machine before. He doesn't know how to order pizza. I mean, and you know, just looking at the way kids interact, he doesn't know how to date, and you know, he missed college. His life has been robbed, and same with this man. I mean, he went away. I mean, he's 51 now.
Yeah.
So he spent the best years of your life behind bars for a crime he didn't commit.
Yeah, they did say, you know, the family did stick up for him, and they said, no, they're a bunch of liars. And he could have had time, technically, to fly from Orlando to New York, pop the guy, and get back on a plane. Yeah.
You know, I was at a party recently, Steve, when I was talking with Barry Scheck, who's the head of the Innocent Project, and he told me that he really liked my show, and he thought I was funny. Go ahead.
You gave me a decent segue there, I think accidentally. Barry Scheck had something to do with the O.J. Simpson trial, didn't he? He was a defense attorney?
Yes. He was part of the defense team,
so
working on the DNA evidence.
The Innocence Project, where they take DNA and they go to the death row and they exonerate people, and every time they try, they exonerate someone. So they do this also with law students, right? Every time a law student class would go and try to find somebody on death row who didn't deserve, they do. They're able to do it.
So the reason I was going to bring up the O.J. Simpson thing is because what you said about the attorneys, I think, is interesting, because we always think of defense attorneys. People always talk about defense attorneys that know that they're defending killers. You know what I mean? Like those guys, Cochran and Kardashian and whoever else it was, they knew they were defending OJ and they knew that he did it. And we always wonder about their ethics, but we never think of the prosecutor's ethics that does something like this. That's really never crossed my mind before, that a prosecutor could somehow have evidence to clear someone and still do it. It's actually it seems far more perverse actually than the defense attorney.
Much more perverse.
I believe OJ is guilty. I believe he did it. However, I believe that having a vigorous defense team that gets him off is a price we pay to have a better justice system overall, because if they didn't do that, the prosecutors would run roughshod. It's just human nature. They'll start taking more shortcuts, cut more corners, and we'll have more and more stories like this man. What is his name? Jonathan Fleming. We'll have more stories of Jonathan Fleming being locked away and the keys thrown away. Look, how many other people are out there who are suffering the same fate?
By the way, OJ got
not every innocent person is rescued out of prison.
Yeah, but also I agree that we need these sets of norms to defend our democracy and freedom and all that. But I just think it's interesting that we never think of the prosecutors doing it the other way. We always think it's the defense attorneys that are doing it.